Got it.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz and today I'm so excited. I've got such a brilliant episode for you. I'm going to be talking to Krissy. Krissy is from the US. She is part of our private membership group on our Slack group, the NZ Ahead Slack group, and she's been living in New Zealand just coming up to a year. And in this episode, she talks all about how she made the move from the US with her 3 kids and her husband to work as a nurse in Tauranga on the North Island. The reason I loved this interview is because Krissy gets so deep into what it really feels like to be living in New Zealand. You know, you get so many questions when you live in New Zealand from people who want to move here and they say, what is it? What is it about the country that that is attractive? What is it what does that lifestyle thing mean? Why are you less stressed? And Krissy she absolutely nails it with her answers. You are going to love this lady. She also goes really deep into the struggling parts. She calls it the slump, the 3 to 6 month slump that she experienced while she was, while she was trying to come to terms with her new life and who she was. And anyway, I'm not going to go on too much about it because, like I say, this lady is fantastic. And if this doesn't want to make you move to New Zealand, then I don't know what will. So I want to say a big thank you to Krissy for being so open, so honest, so real about what her life has been like in New Zealand this last year. And I want you to sit back and enjoy the show.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Krissy, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you with me. Thank you for joining me this morning.
This is so fun. Thanks. I know. Thanks for having me.
For those, I know you because I've been following your journey for such a time now. You're part of our private community and you've been living in New Zealand for over a year now, haven't you? Or are you just coming up to
almost a year? Yeah. A couple of weeks and we'll celebrate a year.
Oh, congratulations. And how quick is that year gone?
I know, right?
It's gone so quick. So I want to explore in today's show. Because I love it when you get to talk to people who've been here for such a long time, like coming up to a year, because you really know what it's like now. You can call yourself a Kiwi now, can't you?
Maybe. My kids might be more Kiwi than me, but...
So, I just want to jump in and just find out how you're finding New Zealand, if it was what you thought it was going to be, the highs and lows of being here after a year and all good stuff like that. So can we just start with you telling me or telling the audience who you are and how come you are sitting in New Zealand chatting to me?
Okay. So I'm Krissy and I'm married to Mike and we have 3 kids, Jesse, Ellie, Tobin. They're 11, 9, 7. They've all had Kiwi birthdays. Oh, nice. And we came from, so Mike's originally from South Africa. I grew up in Japan. We were in the US. We met at grad school. We lived in the US for many years. I can't think of how many now. And then we were in Washington State, Blaine, Washington, or Bellingham, Washington. And we'd always just wanted to live somewhere else. And so we had explored all different places. Should we go to be near Mike's family in the UK? Should we go to Ireland? Should we, just try something new? What should we do? And New Zealand was always kind of one of those places. I think it's a bucket list place for a lot of people. And especially like post-election, when Trump got elected, everyone was like, that's it. I'm moving to New Zealand.
As far away as possible.
Yeah. It was like the thing to say, like, especially like in, Bellingham, Washington, which is very like a blue state. We're all like, that's it. We're out of here. And so it was like something, you'd like joke about and talk about and stuff. But we kind of like always really like, no, we actually really want to do this. And then COVID happened, right? Everything stopped. You couldn't plan anything. I mean, the most we could do was like after the January 6th, like crazy thing that happened in the US, then we were like, let's get on a boat. We could do it. We can, escape, like all of this. But then things started opening back up. And then my kids had a really hard thing happen at school. We had a lockdown. There was a gun situation at their school. And it was that night that we were like, that's it. Let's pull the trigger. Yeah. Not
excuse the pun. Go on, carry on. Something I'd say. Go on. Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's go. And so that night, I'm a nurse, and so that night we were like, I looked up how to get a nursing license, and we just like started the process. And it took a good while, but I wonder if we hit like a really nice window of where things were just opening up, and then so you could kind of like things rolled, because we were probably 9 months from start to landing.
Right.
So which is long when you're in it, but then like people have like worked on it longer and longer than that. But
do you think you were a nurse and New Zealand wanted nurses? Is that what?
Yeah, that does help with things. And I think the longest part, like a lot of nurses you've heard it over and over, the CGFNS, the trying to get your nursing license. That's the longest, like most draining part of it. And then it was, selling a house and selling all the things and packing up and doing all the figuring out where we're going to sell everything, where we're going to pack everything, which way were we going to go, and then visa stuff and everything kind of rolled. And then, we ended up here January 1st at 6 a.m.
Oh, so a couple of questions I have for you. How old are your children again?
11, 9, 7.
11, 9, and 7, which is a great age, actually, isn't it?
It was perfect.
Yeah. And so is it fair to say that, had you ever been to New Zealand before?
No, never.
Right.
Okay. Well, what's funny is I realized I don't think I'd even ever, I've traveled a lot, but I don't think I'd ever even been to the Southern Hemisphere.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a brave move then in itself.
Yeah. It was big. We always joke to people that we just like spun a globe and then stuck our finger somewhere, and that's where we went.
So do you know what? I've heard people say this quite a few times on podcasts when I've chatted to them, but now you've actually made me think that this is a real, like, it's not just something that people had said. It's a real thing that was happening in the States at the time of all the politics that was going on. Did people actually say, oh, stuff this, we're going to New Zealand. We're off to New Zealand. Did they say that?
Well, around me. That was the thing everyone would say. And then also during COVID, so New Zealand was the only place that was like zero COVID, right? And we were in the thick of it. And so even the kids like all knew, like it was the talk of like their school that like, if we were in New Zealand, we wouldn't have to wear masks.
Oh.
If we were in New Zealand, And so even for them, it was like, New Zealand's the place to be. That's where we should be, And they didn't even know we were thinking of moving to New Zealand.
Oh, that's so interesting because, like I say, when I hear people say that, I think they're just joking. But actually, it sounds like New Zealand was, we were over there in the States being talked about as this country that was the escape and like the great place to come to,
Yeah.
So now I'm even more interested to find out later in the show if actually your kids and you, it came to be that it was a great place to come after all. So did you leave family behind in the States?
Yeah. So Mike's family is in England, Ireland, and South Africa. And so we popped over to see them probably every 18 months or so. We would get over to see them in England or Ireland. And then during COVID, obviously we hadn't seen them for a good 3 years. And then my family's mostly in Washington State, right near Bellingham, Seattle, Lummi Island. And got a brother in Nashville and just spattering around, but mostly near me. Yeah.
And how did they take the fact that you were going to leave and take 3 grandchildren away and move to the other side of the world?
they've had their ups and downs. I think obviously they definitely understood. My parents had, you know, left and gone to Japan when we were babies, you know, so they know the itch to go do something different. And I think a lot of them were like, well, if we could do it, we would too. And we recognize the like privileged position that we were in, that both of us have a job that is, you know, like a wanted job in other places in the world. You know, I'm a nurse and Mike's cybersecurity. And so we're both on the green list. We could do this. And we also were not settled enough that it would prevent us from going, but we're also settled enough that we financially can do this. You know, it's a very niche, you know,
Yes.
like area to be in. And we recognize like the privilege of that. And also that like there's this you're not escaping anything. Like we're not like running away from a war. You know, we're not like like you don't have to do this, which in another sense was a hard part. They're like, you don't have to go, right? It's not like it's like you're escaping something, nor is it like, you know, like we'd have like people that we knew who were going to be like a missionary, this call of God, you know, that kind of thing. And so it's like you don't have that excuse either. It's just we just want to. And we just feel like it will be a good life and we want to. So it's like they understood, but at the same time it was like, but why?
Yeah.
You know? And so it was this, and so there were some hard conversations of like, why are you doing this? Like you're, it feels like you're running away from us. And we're like, no, we always wanted it to be that we're going to something. We're not running away from things. Even though there was some things we wanted to get away from, but there is everywhere, right?
Do you know what? You've just reminded me, because you were that person that kept saying that on the group. I've just remembered, because there's, lots of people giving different opinions and things like that. But I remember what you said really stuck out to me. And it was such good advice, that exactly what you've just said now is stop looking at it from what you're running away from and what you're, and change it to what you're going to. And I love that. It's just, it made perfect sense. It's so true.
Yeah, I think so too.
At the same time as well, and I completely understand what you're saying about, I think unless you're not even a traveler, I think unless you're, I always say adventurer, because you have it in your blood, don't you? You have that thing where you just want to go and try something else, you know, and you just, it never goes away. That itch never goes away. And I think kind of person, it's hard to explain that to someone. And I hear what you're saying about people thinking, well, why? What's wrong with here? Like, you know, like people would say to us, just move to Wales, just move to Ireland if you want more space, which is very valid. You know, it's like, at least then you're not going to the other side of the world. Why does it have to be the other side of the world? And it's just hard to explain that to someone, isn't it? It's just,
it is.
Yeah.
It is. And not until you get here do you really realize how far away you're going.
Yes.
Like, you know, you think like, it's just a plane ride. But then you get here and you're like, that was a plane ride. You know, and once we got over here and, you know, slowly our money's changing over to New Zealand money. And then you look at flights and then you're like, you look at flights in New Zealand dollars versus US dollars. And we're like, oh, this is it's a lot of money to go visit.
I know. It really is, isn't it?
And then suddenly you're like, this is really far away.
It kind of hits, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Let's talk about that. So you come to New Zealand. Were you offered a job before you came, or did you find a job when you got here?
Yeah, so I was still back before the green list had changed. And so it was a 2-year to residence when I came. So we had to come under a accredited employer work visa, they called it then. And so I had to be sponsored by the hospital that I came over with. Right. Since then, we've been able to apply for residency, and now we have residency. And so that's been a nice switch. But so the hospital sponsored me to come over. I work at a small surgical hospital. It's a private hospital here in Tauranga. And yeah, so I was offered that. And so then that kind of made us, we were kind of trying to choose where we wanted to be. We wanted to be on the North Island just because I don't love snow. And so,
Yeah, that's
so
valid.
and we wanted to, like Mike grew up surfing, so he wanted to surf again, so we were like, okay, let's go by the beach on the North Island. And then it kind of, filtered down to like, where do we want to be? And then so I was also working with the recruiter, Accent Health. And so she kind of said like, here are great family beachy places. And so then I found the job here and then got that job. And so then that's what got us here to Tauranga.
Right. So you're there in Tauranga, and we'll jump into how you like it in a minute. First of all, did Mike have a job when he got here, or did he have to find work once he left?
He was going to stay with his US company, and then randomly found a job at the city council here. And so he worked for the US company for about a month and switched over to working for the city council.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And did you just rent a house when you got here? Well, what did the house look like? Tell me about that.
So we got here January 1st, and what people told us, but we didn't quite understand, was that everything's closed, right? Yeah. So we arrived, and Mike has a cousin in Auckland. So we stayed in Auckland for a couple days to just kind of get our feet. And because we borrowed a car from him for the first little bit. And then they helped us drive down here with all our multiple suitcases. That was another, wow. Like thinking back, right?
Yeah.
Because we sold it. So backing up, we sold everything and didn't send a shipping container. Because that was the other thing about our window of where we came, was that there was a backlog in shipping. Because things had just opened back up, and with COVID and everything. So they said, this is like, when we were talking to them, they were like, it's all-time high of expenses. We were looking at about $35,000 US to ship a small container over, and it was going to take 9 months. And so we were like, yeah, that's not going to work. We don't have $35,000 and we would have to, buy things only to get a shipping container later. And our stuff wasn't worth $35,000. So we decided to just pack in a bunch of suitcases and move over. So we did that. So here we are, five of us, very tired, lugging all these suitcases through the airport. Things are falling over. Kids are melting down. And we were like, what have we done?
If you dream of moving to New Zealand, then you are going to love what I'm about to share with you. 12 years ago, when me and Bri emigrated to New Zealand, we were scouring the internet, trying to find any information that we could about what our life would be like when we got here. And basically all we had was YouTube. So we made this vow. We said, when we get to New Zealand, we're going to create something that we can share with others that answers those questions that you're so desperate to know about. Like, what is your life going to be like when you get here? And that's what I'm here to offer you today. We have created a 5-day free, absolutely free video guide that shows you what it's really like to live in New Zealand. This stuff is unique and it is fabulous. You are not going to find it anywhere else on the internet. And like I say, it's absolutely free. You'll be sent a video every day for 5 days and you will know what it's like in New Zealand. So head over to the website. It's www.nzahead.com/free. One more time, that's www.nzahead.com/free. You are going to love it.
Suitcases through the airport, things are falling over, kids are melting down. And we were like, what have we done? And then, but the thing I remember so clearly is we walked out of the airport and I was like, it smells so good here.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
I heard people say that, but I don't know why, but that was like this distinct memory. I was like, it smells so good.
Wow.
And then, so anyway, we did a couple days in Auckland, and then the cyclone started. And so we drove down from Auckland to Tauranga in pouring down rain. And then we had an Airbnb here that we were supposed to have for a month. And it was nearer to my work. And then I was supposed to start work in like 4 days. And so we settled in our Airbnb. And then we got in the process of trying to like do banks and AA and IRD numbers and all of this, right? And things are still not open. It's dumping rain. We're trying to figure everything out.
Oh, no, kids aren't at school.
No, because it was January. And so kids are home. Mike's trying to work from the US. I'm trying to go to work. They're, trying to entertain themselves while Mike is working. Yeah. It was a couple weeks of like, okay, what have we done?
Yeah.
It's very green and smells good. I can do this.
Just keep sniffing, Krissy. Just keep sniffing.
Just keep sniffing. And then you're like, and then we're like, it's back. You have a washer, no dryer, so you're hanging everything up. Nothing's drying. It's like, oh, okay, we got this. But so yeah, it was I don't think we had a honeymoon phase. Like you come and you get this like you feel like your vacation. We missed that.
Okay.
It was just come right into like, oh. And then we had to look for a rental, which especially in January, I think everyone was looking for a rental in January because school is about to start. You're trying to get into a place, get your kids enrolled and stuff before school starts in February. So we put in like 30 applications to different houses, went to all these, Mike was going to, while I was working, going to all these open houses, trying to get into a place. And to say it's not been that hard for everybody. This was just
this is
our
your
experience. And so on the Slack also is Lisa, Jordy, and then Liesel and Russell. And we all arrived at roughly exactly the same time. So we're all looking for houses at the same time, which is so great because we can like, another one that didn't work. And, we're like going out to coffee and we're like, this is so frustrating. And then like, oh, yay, we got a house. Okay, yours is coming soon. Don't worry,
just support.
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, we got a house, a nice house. We love our house. We got so lucky. And it's in Papamoa Beach. And so we're like, a few minute walk to the beach. And the kids go to a really cute school called Golden Sands. And they can just ride their bike or walk over there. We have a little home office for Mike. And then the one downside is that it's about a 40-minute drive for me to go to work. So that's
yeah.
But I come home and there's the beach. So
right on the beach. Yeah. How many bedrooms has it got?
4.
4 bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
How long are you there for? How long is your lease?
It was a 1-year lease, but then they're letting us stay. So next it'll be month to month.
Right.
So we're planning on staying.
So
it is expensive.
I was going to say, I didn't want to be rude and ask, but I'm going to tell you how much we would expect to pay for a 4-bedroomed house near the beach in Okura, where we live. I'm going to say 1,200 a week. Is that about?
Oh, no. No, we pay $850.
$850. Right. Okay. That gives you an idea. It gives people an idea.
Yeah.
To be near the beach is interesting, isn't it? How much you're going to pay.
Yeah, you are going to pay a lot. We're near the beach. But we can't see the beach. It's like a 10-minute walk to the beach.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, we're definitely, and we're in like a new development area. So all the houses are a lot newer. This one's probably 5 years oldish.
Right.
So that's had its real good perks, of like the air's really good. The heat wasn't too bad, like in certain rooms, it's like we've got real good perks to living in a new build.
Is it more or less than you were expecting to pay when you were moving over here? You must have had a budget in your mind. Is that more or less?
It's more than we were expecting to pay. But I think, it's comparable to what we would have paid in Bellingham.
Yeah.
If we were renting, rent is not rent's not that much different than what we would be paying over there for this size of a house. So yeah, it's more than we were hoping to pay, but also for what we get, I think it's very worth it.
So you're here in New Zealand. You've got you've got your house. How long did it take you to find your house?
It was about a month.
Right.
Maybe, yeah.
About a month. That's
Yeah.
Going through it. I bet it just felt like forever. But if someone had said to you, it'll only take a month, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's not too
okay,
bad.
no problem. Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like it wasn't for us, some others have other experiences of like hopping from Airbnb to Airbnb trying to find a place, For us, we had our Airbnb for a month. And so it coincided just fine. Like we had a weekend overlap to clean the other place and everything. So it worked out really nicely.
Yeah. What was it like? What was it like going to work as a nurse in a different country? Well, how were you accepted, and how quickly did you fit in? Or have you fit in? Just tell me about how work is.
I think honestly, my job has been the hardest part of everything.
Right.
It's a different specialty than I was doing. So in the US I've been a nurse for over 15 years, and I've done all different specialties. But for the last 5 years, I was a labor and delivery nurse, which is not even something that they use over here. It's a different system. And so I had to look into something else because unless I wanted to retrain as a midwife, which would be a lot of what I've already been doing, and I didn't want to go back to school. So so I've been as a theater nurse, which I had experience in the theater, but it was all cesarean sections and anything to do with obstetrics and gynecology I've done in the theater. So all the other things is brand new. Like I've never done orthopedics. I've never done plastic surgery. I've never done, like bowel surgeries and all of this. And their system of training is really interesting in that it's kind of a like, you'll be right.
Oh.
You got this. And so it was kind of like this throw you in and watch you try to swim kind of thing. And so that's been like a big challenge for me of like trying to just like learn things on the job and try to ask questions but look like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So just to be clear, you're now doing the job that you haven't. You're learning on the job as you go. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm learning a lot on the job.
Right. Okay. God, that must be challenging. That would be really.
It has been, especially when like you've been doing it for a long time, and I was at the point where I was very competent, and then you come, and all of a sudden it's like you feel like a new grad all over again. Yeah. And so it's challenging and also very, very humbling to like come into this and to not be able to utilize a lot of skills I do have, but need to learn a lot of different things. That's been a challenge.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably been my little bit of a low is my job. But there are good perks. I don't work weekends. I don't work nights.
Right.
So
okay.
That part has been a big perk since, the other option was working like in a ward or something where I would need to work nights and weekends again, which is tough on a family. So
yeah, that
part has been a real. But also the health system has been interesting. It's been very interesting working in the private health system. And because we do all, besides like they will have some DHB cases or some ACC cases that we will do as well. But predominantly, these are all insured people who are doing not emergent, but elective surgeries. And by elective surgeries, it just means that they don't urgently need them right now. It doesn't mean that they don't need them. It just means that they don't need them at right at the moment.
Yeah, so it's not like a life or death situation.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a very unique, it's a unique place to be in because in the US, obviously all the healthcare is private. But you'd have your mix and match of like, you'd have some insured people, some uninsured people, some emergencies, some non-emergencies, and you kind of have a mix and match. And so this is really unique that this is just all these, like, it's a very niche market that you're servicing.
Yeah.
So that's been very interesting for me to see too. And then just hearing, I haven't had to experience the hospital here, the public hospital, but just hearing, people's talk and the chatter around like the public health system versus private health system. And yeah, I found it quite fascinating.
Why?
Like,
what are they saying?
Just the, long wait times and the poor care that you get and all of the, the complaints that happen. But then coming from a place in the US where, something could happen and you go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's like there's trade-offs, right? I know it's not perfect, and then like I find it like it's been really interesting and good to recognize that there is no perfect healthcare system. Like it's yet to be discovered. And maybe there's a lot of like innovation that needs to take place. And that's something that's really cool. There's a new like a 24/7 clinic that's going to open up just around the corner that's trying some new like innovative like mix of telehealth and RNs and nurse practitioners and different things. And so I feel like they're trying. Some things like they're trying to do something to help the healthcare system in any way that they can. So that's it's cool. It's good to see.
That's great. And we never set out to talk about the healthcare system, but actually I'm really glad we did. And I appreciate you being so open about it, because it's a fascinating subject and something so many people are concerned about when they come to New Zealand. But what is the healthcare system going to be like? And I can only ever talk about what it's been like to be, and thankfully it hasn't been me that's been a patient, but like my father-in-law, needed a gallbladder operation. He had a mini stroke thing, and my mum has now got cancer and she's being treated. So I can only talk from like the service. I don't know if that's the right word. The
care, no, that'd be right.
Yeah, the care that they've each got in the last couple of years. Yeah, it's been outstanding. It's just like like once they're ill, it's just been, and I don't mean once they're ill, but that's what people say. They're like, oh yeah, once you're ill in New Zealand, it's it's fine.
Exactly.
And like, so when I talked to my brother in the UK, who's also got cancer, he's like, she's getting treated so quickly. The service is so
that's great. Really good. Yeah.
So from an outsider's point of view, like from a receiver's point of view, not someone who works in the healthcare system, I'm thinking, oh, thank God she's not in the UK with all those waits, and thank God she's not been standing in the car park. And then I think, thank God she doesn't live in America and she wouldn't have an insurance, and bankrupt, like you said. So there isn't any perfect way, but I really appreciate you for being honest about that and for shedding light on the other side of it. Yeah. Because, again, I've talked to lots of nurses that have moved from the US, mainly talking about it, saying that it is such a different system, and it is, it is very different. It feels like you're starting right back at the beginning again. And it's like, what's all this? I learned this 15 years ago. It's just, it must be frustrating. It must be really frustrating. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And like getting recertified in things that, because some things that we like learn and do just immediately in school and out of school, like nurses would learn on the job here. It's kind of, this is maybe a broad generalization and could be different, but so then you need to get recertified when you're a nurse in these specific things. And so having done that for 15 years and then trying to get recertified, it is very, it's humbling.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Brian can call it humbling when he was climbing into the septic tank after he'd been a plumber for like 30 years, and it's no different. It's like you come over and you're gonna have to start again. And I think it's a really great thing for people to be aware of, to be honest. That it's, so I appreciate you talking about it.
And then, but then it's like I would keep having to remind myself that there were people that I worked with in the US who were full-fledged nurses and doctors in their country. They came over to the US and they were placed at the bottom. They were starting as like, healthcare assistants and they had to like work themselves up into being nurses and doctors. And how much of, like humbling and unfair was that,
Yeah.
and like here it's like I'm complaining that I just have to be recertified to, and so like I keep having to put it back into perspective of, like they fully acknowledged my license, they fully acknowledged my my work history and my education. It wasn't like I had to like start all over on everything again, but in another sense, there were a lot of things I had to start all over again,
Yeah,
So
yeah, I understand.
Balance.
And like you say, and it's great to know that happened in America as well. Like people would come over and be trained, and they're going back down to the bottom of the ladder. So it's something to be aware of. And I think that it's important, isn't it? So you come over, you've got your job, and the kids are now in school. Has the last year living in New Zealand, living in Tauranga, has it been everything that you wanted it to be? Apart from, like, I know you're saying about your job, but has it been worth it? Has it been like, wow, yeah, New Zealand was that place that everyone said that it's the paradise of the world? Tell me what the last year has been like. What's highs, and I mean the low maybe is your job, but I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I think so. Now going to like being almost a year, like we just like stop and are like, I am so happy. I'm so content. I feel so peaceful. And both of us and the kids, like we're so happy. And like all of a sudden you'll get this like, is this my life type of feeling, like you spend the weekend at the beach and then you come home to your own house, you're like, is this really my life? And we get that so often. And I think the biggest thing is just the peace. We feel like our stress has completely dissolved. And I mean, not completely, that's an over-exaggeration. Our stress is way less.
Yeah.
I was explaining to someone the other day that there's still highs and lows, like day-to-day highs and lows. But I think like I'm now riding like up here highs and lows, where I was like down here. Like I'm now like highs and lows up here. Like the general the general wellness is up higher. And others of our friends have said the same thing. That is so coming that where we are now. I have to say, for people that are still at the 3 to 6 month, that was hard. Like 3 to 6 months was a hard time. Not like I want to go back or I want to leave or I don't want to be here. It was just like, I mean, I had like identity crisis type of feeling, like who even am I? Like what, now I'm not the same kind of nurse I was. I'm like mothering in a completely different way because my kids have so much more freedom. They're at a different type of school. They're like, my involvement in there, everything is a little bit different. Like I don't know what I like to do and don't like to do anymore. Just this like, I don't know. Like I used to like grocery shopping. Now I don't. I used to, like it was all these things that I'm like, I don't even know who I am. And so, yeah, there were just like crisis moments. And I think moving to a totally different country and changing your whole life, it's like you have an opportunity to like reevaluate and reshape things. And it's hard work, really. And you're looking at yourself and you're like, man, I thought I was a lot more social than I actually am. And then realizing that like, I'm actually more quiet than I realized. And that's okay. I guess it was just the like my family and good friends around me that brought out this like bubbliness. And I don't have to have that all the time. Like I can be my quiet self and that's okay. And so it was just this like, just a, yeah, a big process for me during that 3 to 6 months. I know there's been people who have recently on Slack been talking about like the newness of everything. And that was huge for me too. I remember I was like sitting in the living room folding clothes and I was listening to the podcast with Nikki. And she said something about like that she had this moment where she just kind of like broke down and was like, you know, as much like she loves being here, as much as she loves it, you know, she broke down and she was just like, I'm so tired of things being new. And it was like at that exact moment, I was feeling the exact same thing. I was like, today, I don't want to do anything new. I don't want to see anyone new. I just want to do everything the exact same they've always done. I want to go shop at Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I just want to go to Tesco's.
Yeah, exactly. But you have those moments, right? And I think it's like for us, it was like, okay, like in those moments, I would do that. I would just be like, I would take the same route to the same store, go on the same walk, wouldn't do anything different. And it's like, and it would help. And I would just like, I journaled a lot during that time. I like, took a lot of beach walks, which was really like a like healing time. And then just like, yeah, just a lot of compassion for like yourself and recognizing how much you had just gone through and what you had just done and what you had just experienced, and just like, you know, letting yourself feel the different things. Like it's okay to feel, right? I can feel sad today. I can feel like lonely. I can feel all these things. And that doesn't mean this wasn't a good idea. It just means you're feeling something, right?
Do you know, I could not have, I can't ever imagine putting that more perfectly than you've just put it. You have just summed up absolutely everything. Well, certainly what I was going through 14 years ago. And to be honest, I bet what everyone is going through. And you've nailed it when you said about the change thing, because it's like, who am I? Like, you know, I'm not even going to say it again because you said it so perfectly. And I was just talking to Lisa. I've just done a podcast with Lisa, who also is a member of our community, and she lives in Tauranga. And she cited you as being her best friend, actually. She said,
yes, we're
me and Katie are so close. Yeah. And we were talking, and she was saying something about the same thing about not only have you gone through this massive reinvention, transformation, just completely different way of life, but you feel guilty if you say, I'm lonely, or I'm having a hard time.
Exactly.
You know, and so you've got that added thing, because in your mind, you've got this little finger wagging going, well, it was your choice. You know,
you didn't have to do this.
Yeah, exactly. You live in paradise now. This is what it looks like. And it's just like, oh, it's even worse.
Yes. You know, it's like, you should be happy.
Yeah.
This is, right. Yeah. And you have this guilt. It's like, and I couldn't talk to people back home, right? Because it's like this feeling like I should be happy and they're expecting me to be happy. And that's why we came. But yeah, no, that was like having people who are like, had done the same thing and we're all feeling the same way. And, oh, today's a hard day, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, man, makes all the difference.
Yeah, you really need those people around you, don't you? And this is what we always say. It's like, just don't do it alone, because it's too hard on your own. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, you need that. And we will get to the Slack group and talk about that and the community and how it helped you. How did the kids, did they slot straight in? Was there any problems with them? Or tell me about the kids.
They had no problems. One of the things that I love, like I wrote down a list of like things that I like about being here. One of the things on there is uniforms.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay, so here's my thing with uniforms. Kids don't actually want to be unique, is my theory. They want to fit in and they want to be a part of a group. They want to belong. And one of the things that uniforms does is immediately they go to school and they're a new face, but they look the same as everyone else. And for my kids, that was huge for them, because yeah, they have a, slight different accent, but there are so many accents. I mean, that was one thing that we, like, one of the things that we were wondering about with the kids was like, was their accent going to be, big deal? But no, there's South Africans, there's, Scottish and British and, there's like tons of Asian kids, and there's like people from everywhere. So everyone has every kind of accent. So no, they have absolutely no problems with anybody saying anything about their accent. But they do put on a Kiwi accent at school.
Oh, do they?
Yes,
yeah.
They do now. I can hear it when I'm at school with them or when they first come home. It's cute. But that was huge. Like they just kind of, and Kiwi kids just kind of in bold are like, oh, do you want to be? Even my oldest, like in year 6 at 11, it was like, hey, do you want to be my friend? Do you want to play with me? Do you want to? And so they kind of just felt enfolded right away. And now it's funny because they have just all the normal kid problems, which is good. Like my 9-year-old girl is like, oh man, there's so much friend drama. So much.
Is that
just normal, Yeah.
It's
like not anything unique to having moved or anything. So I think it was the first month or two, it's like, man, you have to have so much grace for your kids. They're like not themselves. And it's understandable. You just moved them to a whole nother country and put them through this massive transition, right? And they're just like, they were just at each other, and they were, like they would have big emotions and little outbursts, and you're like, who are these children? Like, what has happened? And like, have I done something terrible because they're like this? And then they just kind of settled into life and settled into themselves, and they're so free and happy and content, and they can ride their bikes anywhere. This is a huge difference from the US, at least where we were, and here, of like, we wouldn't send our kids anywhere by themselves, not to the park, but we wouldn't even let them play outside in the front without watching them.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like, there's like, they would ride the bus to school, but you'd stand at the bus stop, wait for them, get on the bus, be at the bus stop, make sure they get off, and like, we couldn't go into their school. We could, if you were going to go in, you'd have to just wait by the office. They'd bring your kid to you. Like there was no like roaming around the school. Here it's like, I just freely walk onto the school, grab them from their class if I need to, sign them out, just like sign them in late, sign them in whenever, they ride their bikes to the park. They ride their bike to their friend's house. It's just so, they have this sense of like, just such independence and responsibility that it's so good for them.
Was it hard for you as a parent to just let go of that, to like go from being there by their side constantly to just knowing that, I mean, what was it like the first day that you just said, go on, you ride on your own to school, off you go? Were you just terrified, or was it hard?
It wasn't for me. I grew up in Japan, and we would ride trains by ourselves. We'd go everywhere, as a kid. So to me, it was like, this is childhood. This is normal. Mike grew up in South Africa. It was much harder for him. Yeah. He was like, followed them to school for a while. So for him, I think it was a little harder for him to make that transition, but he loves it too. And yeah, we love the freedom that they have.
I'm so happy they've settled, because that's the one thing, isn't it? If your kids are happy, you're happy. That's all all that matters. Like, it's just, just let your family be happy. And I've got to say, you just seem so incredibly happy. But so going back to that 3-6 month period, you're now saying to me that your stress levels, you still get stressed, but it's up here and you can't believe it. And you look around, what's the one thing? Because this is a difficult question to answer when people say, what is it? Like, why New Zealand?
I know.
Can you answer that, Krissy? What is it that's making you so happy?
Probably just because it smells so good, right?
Just go around sniffing everywhere.
I think I said this to somebody on the Slack the other day, but I think it really is true. What we feel is there's like, and this is just probably just a piece of it, but we don't feel judged or like people are watching us or like we're trying to meet up to some certain standard. Like there doesn't seem to be a standard. Like, I don't know if that resonates with you too, but like when we first came, like one of the examples is when we came, we're looking around. It's like, we're like, say walking around the mall or something like that. I was looking for like a fashion sense. There isn't.
Oh no. Gumboots and that's it.
Not like in a bad way, just in a way that like there's no specific. So like in Bellingham, Washington, right? Like we needed to look like we were ready to go hiking, do yoga, and go paddleboarding and have a business meeting all at the same time. You're wearing your Patagonia little coat thing and your flannel shirt, and then it's like there's a specific fashion, right? And if you're outside of that, and like on a certain day, like today, I want to look like I do yoga. Ta-da! Today I want to look like. So there's these fashion sense.
Yeah.
But here I'm like, I can wear whatever I want. I can wear shoes if I want or not. I can, so that's just an example of like I can put my kids in all the activities or none of the activities and nobody judges. I can, so my kids do karate, swim lessons, surf lifesaving. We played soccer when it was soccer season. Like and so it's like there's everything available, but you don't have to do them.
Yeah.
There's and like I think that's it's like this. I'm not trying to keep up with anyone. I'm not trying to meet a standard of anything. Like I just like jobs, for example, like if you can pay your bills, it doesn't matter what job you have. They're all the same. It's just the matter of like, can you live in the house you want to live in and do the things you want to do? Like you can be, you can work at a kitchen store. You can be a nurse. You can be a doctor. Like they're all the same. And it is like when people said that like you'll like know somebody for a long time and not even know what they do, it is honestly true.
Yeah.
Like, like I played soccer with people for like 6 months and then like all of a sudden found out that she's a police officer. I'm like, you're a what? Like, but in the US, it was like, meet them, what they do. And then they're automatically in this hierarchy of you belong here. And like, and then therefore you drive this car and your kids do this activity. And this is the area of town that you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And there isn't that.
No.
Like you find out, like I found out recently that a good friend of mine, it's like, I didn't know that she has a PhD and she's a psychologist. Like I had no idea. She's just my kid's friend's mom, and like, yeah, I think
so true.
That's not one thing to put a finger on, but it's this broad, like of pressure.
Yeah.
Is what brings your stress level down, right?
You are 1,000,000% right. You're so right. Absolutely. Because that does bring with it so much stress. Like you say, what am I driving? What am I going to look there? Shall I tell them I'm doing this? Oh, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. And you've just, again, you've just perfectly nailed it. It's so true. And that's why you don't have that stress feeling, because you're not going to the door thinking, oh shit, do I look okay? Or what will they think when I meet them and tell them I'm a homeschooler and I haven't got a proper job? Like, what are they going to think? They don't think anything
cares.
They don't even ask you. They don't care. They
they don't.
And it's it's lovely, isn't it? Oh,
and your kids can be just like mismatched, no shoes, and like the first time we did go to a store and my kids forgot shoes, I was very nervous. I was like, what are people going to think of me? Like, my kids look homeless, And then you walk in and you're like, oh, there's actually adults walking without shoes. Like, I'm the least of their worries. They don't even notice. They don't care. They don't notice me.
No.
The other day, though, I still struggle going into a store without shoes on, but we were on our way back from the beach and I ran into the bakery without shoes on. And I felt a bit naked. Like I thought everyone was staring at my feet. So it's still a work in progress for me.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's okay because I don't go around bare feet. It hurts my feet when I try and walk. Sometimes I try and be cool and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just going to walk to the beach in my bare feet and it's flipping killing me. The little stones, I'm just like hobbling along. I don't know how people do it. I think you must have to grow up doing it.
You do, right?
Into it.
Yeah. We're always like, brave feet, brave feet, brave feet, brave feet.
Yeah. Before I let you go, tell me about the community within the Slack group, because I know that you wanted to talk about that and you said about how much well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to ask you to talk about it. So tell me about
we love our group. We have such a good little group of friends, all on account of the Slack. So we're very thankful. So we joined the Slack, I don't even remember. It was like way at the beginning of when we were trying to come over here. And man, to just like connect with people and be like, you know, ask questions and then the whole like CGFNS, like getting like all moaning about it together is very helpful. And like the numbers, like someone would be like, hey, here's a back line to the CGFNS. And then send it your way, you know, and you finally get through to someone. You're like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But during that, then we connected with Liesl and Russell, and then Lisa and Jordy, and we were all going to be landing in Tauranga in January. I think Lisa might have come just a little bit before us. They were up in Auckland for a while and then came down. So we all, in fact, Liesl and family and our family arrived here like the same day. And so we were still in the Airbnb and we like had them over. And then we met up with Lisa and her family at the beach. And it was just like, we were like clicked. And like it was like, we understood each other. We knew each other and we knew same people. You know, that's always funny. And we're like, so we'd be like, oh, did you read what so-and-so wrote?
Yeah.
You know, but when you have that, like, it's like somehow with like talking, like knowing the same people, you feel closer. So yeah, then we were like able to be each other's like, you know, emergency contact people and, hey, can I put you down that you can pick up my kid if, you know, I die or, you know, so like we were that. And then we'd get together, like we'd have coffee and then everyone would come over for dinner the next Friday. And then like all birthday parties and everything were together for that first little bit when we have no friends and family. And so, you know, like, you know, we'd like throw a Kina, you know, her little like 3-year-old birthday party and we all go, you know, like, and then we've like had like the other Slackers join, like in that. So Brianna and David came, and they like are just like joined right in, and then Stevie and Aileen, and they you know joined right in, and so we've got this nice group now of like all these like people that we can call if we need anything. Like the other day, or I had to work early, and Mike is out of town right now, so I'm like, Stevie and Aileen, can I drop my kids off at your house at 7:15? Can you take them to school?
Oh, that's lovely.
Like, yep. And then, you know, they'd be like, can Robbie come over to your house afterwards? So it's like, as you're building other community and like with your kids, school friends and everything, it's like, you've got these people. Yeah. And also we realized, we were talking about like just having somebody that you can be like, hey, we're, you know, driving over the pass to Hamilton for the weekend. We'll let you know when we get back. Just like that, there's like, otherwise, who knows if you even made it back, right? When you don't have that like family or people that you check in with and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, you know, Lisa and Jordy were going off on a hike and they're like, okay, here's our itinerary. This is when we're going to be back, and I'll let you know when we're home, you know.
That's great. That's great.
It's been huge. It's been really, and being in this like, being able to talk, like I said, about like, hey, today's a hard day, and they understand, and they're like, or like, hey, today I'm missing my dog, and like today I'm like when Lisa's sister had her baby, that was a hard day, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like there's someone who understands of like, hey, I cried today because I miss this.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. And
yeah,
that's huge.
Because when we
think it's
go on.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just going to say when as much as we wanted it to be a place that had information, there's you want to know about packing, we've got so many channels within that Slack community, the private community, and it's but what we wanted more was that feeling of support and community and just be able to chat. And I remember talking to Lisa in Belgium about it, and she said, "You know what, Liz?" She said, I haven't got anyone here that I can talk to about moving to New Zealand because they don't know. She said, it's just a taboo subject. It upsets them. They want to, they're in denial. Oh yeah, you were saying you go to New Zealand, but you're not really going to go, are you? She said, but so just have that place where I could just go online and everyone in that group was going through exactly the same as me. So it starts at the very beginning, doesn't it? And
it does
build and grow. And then now to see you all guys just, I saw that you went to the South Island together on a big girls trip. And
that was
so cool.
That was the best.
Oh.
And I think that too, like, and like we want to do another one. We're like planning it because that was the best. It's like all of a sudden you have 15 ladies who just left their partner or kids at home, and you're all together and you all like know each other, right? Because you've like spent the last year to 2 years plus together. And then, and like for all of us, it was like this, we just like immediately were able to like go into like deep conversations. It wasn't the surface, because we know, why they're here, what they do, what, like you don't have to do that anymore. You're talking about like deep things of like, oh, this is hard, this is good, this is wonderful, this is, that was one of the best weekends. That was so much fun.
I'm so happy to see that. No, it's fantastic. And I just want to say thank you to you for being such a fantastic, supportive community member. And just we've loved, we love having you in the group, Krissy.
Thanks, I love it.
And thank you for being so open and honest. And I know I keep saying this, using this word, but just nailing how you feel when you come to New Zealand, because it's hard to put your finger on it, but you have somehow managed to get it right, exactly 100% right. Is like, that's certainly how I felt. And I bet when people are listening to this, especially the ones that are already here, they're going to be like, yep, that's how I felt. Exactly how I was.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely so much ups and downs. And you guys always say it's no utopia. No. Like we were saying, healthcare system is, has its flaws. It's very like there are hard things about every aspect. Like the school system has its flaws. Like academically, it's like, not what I thought it was going to be. There are all these little things that it's like, but every country has that, right? It's not, you can't come here expecting that it's going to be perfect or perfect for you. Right? Like you have to, you come here, like just thinking that this is what you want to do. And it's and this is like, and you're willing to sacrifice lots of things for a lot of things that you're going to gain.
Yeah.
And I think like for us, it definitely, like what we wanted to gain was less stress, the beach, freedom, and just a slower pace of life, and like, and something new, an adventure, something that like just made it feel like just a little, like, a little excitement and try something different. And we got it all.
Well, looking at that gorgeous smile on your face, I reckon you're so happy that you're in New Zealand.
We are. We're happy.
Yeah, I'm so
smelling.
Just sitting around everywhere.
That's right. Now everyone's who lives here is gonna go outside and like, what was she talking about?
No, I know.
They will. Know, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like I'll be like on my way, like walking into work, and I'll be like, why does it smell so good?
Yeah, it just smells like New Zealand. It just is.
Yeah.
That's all you can say. You've just got, it just
Yeah.
smells like New Zealand. And the light as well, you know, that you'll notice it more when you leave and then come back and you're like, oh, there it is. Just that clarity of light. It's just.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So,
And rainbows. What the?
Yeah.
I'm like, I have seen more rainbows in this last year than I think my whole life.
No, I know.
I'm like, there are just so many rainbows.
Yeah. Just think if you were listening to this and you got little kids and they're like, we're going to this brilliant, perfect country with loads of rainbows that smell so good. You don't have to wear shoes.
Yes. And mommy's going to have an identity crisis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and thank you for being so honest.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun talking to you.
Until next time, Krissy, I'll speak
All
to
right.
you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
And tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is like, really like, in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye again. Bye.
Bye.